Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some Gaelic Games news from Arte Sport. And, well, things are pretty lively over there, let me tell you.
Yeah, there's always something happening in the world of Gaelic games, isn't there? Always exciting.
Absolutely. For those who might be new to all this, Gaelic games, like hurling and Gaelic football, are really unique to Ireland, right?
That's right. They're deeply rooted in Irish culture and history. I mean, these games have been played for centuries.
And they have some pretty die-hard fans, too.
Oh, for sure. The passion is incredible.
Okay, well, let's jump into some recent news, huh? Starting with this red card reversal that has everyone buzzing. Con O'Callaghan.
Oh, yeah, the Koala Star.
Right. He got that red card, which is a big deal, but guess what? The decision's been overturned.
Wow, that's huge for Koala, especially heading into their Leinster Club SFC quarterfinal against Nas.
Against Nas. That's the provincial championship, for those who may not know.
Right, and O'Callaghan, he's a real difference maker on the field. I mean, he's incredibly skilled and athletic. Koala's chances are much better now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But how do you think Nas is going to handle his return?
Well, Nas has been doing pretty well lately, but O'Callaghan being back definitely throws a wrench into their plans, doesn't it?
For sure, it adds another layer of complexity to their game plan.
Exactly. It just goes to show you how much one player can affect a team's performance in Gaelic games. We'll see how Nas adapts, though. Could be very interesting.
Speaking of player decisions, we have some news out of Cork. Sean Sherlock, you know him.
Oh, yeah, the defender.
Right, he's opted out of the 2025 season.
That's a big loss for Cork. Sherlock has been a key part of their defense for years now, known for his strength and tactical awareness.
Yeah, it won't be easy to replace him, that's for sure.
Definitely not. They've got some promising young players, but losing someone like Sherlock, a veteran like that, it's going to impact their performance next season. You can bet on that.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Okay, but now, before we dive into all the strategizing and what-ifs, I wanted to share something that really captures the spirit of Gaelic games, the heart of it all.
Oh, what's that?
Well, Barry O'Connor, he plays for St. Martin's, right?
Yeah, I know him.
So his team won the Wexford SHC, the county championship, for the first time since 2019, and he was just overwhelmed with emotion.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. It must mean so much to him and to the whole St. Martin's community.
Absolutely. It really shows how these games are so deeply connected to the community. Brings people together, creates this feeling of pride and belonging.
It's more than just a sport, isn't it? It's part of their lives, woven into the very fabric of their community.
Exactly. Oh, and speaking of St. Martin's, they also clinched the Wexford hurling crown. Talk about a team on a roll.
Wow, they're really doing great. Good for them.
But on a different note, a bit of a somber one, we have a legend retiring. Dublin hurling great Cian McCarthy is hanging up his inter-county jersey.
Oh, wow. End of an era, huh? McCarthy, he's had a remarkable career. Won multiple Leinster championships with Dublin. He was known for his speed, accuracy, and leadership on the field. Big shoes to fill, I'll say.
Absolutely. What would you say were some of his biggest achievements, the ones that really stand out? I bet the Dublin fans have a few favorites.
Well, his role in Dublin's 2023 Leinster final win was unforgettable, that's for sure. He scored like 3 crucial points in the final minutes, and they ended up beating Kilkenny by a hair. It was intense. Talk about performing under pressure. And beyond that, his leadership off the field was just as important, I think. He was a real mentor to the younger players, a true ambassador for hurling.
He really embodied the spirit of the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
His absence will definitely be felt, both on and off the field. Okay, now let's switch gears and talk about some other exciting results from the weekend. Tina Golly pulled off a stunning victory over Port Carlington in the Leinster Championship, which was a bit of a surprise, huh?
Yeah, you could say that. Port Arlington was the favorite going in, but Tinosley played with so much heart and determination, pulled off an upset that no one saw coming. That's what I love about Gaelic games. You never know what's going to happen. It really shows you that in Gaelic games, anyone can win on any given day.
You got that right.
hmm
Now, how about a Dares win in the Limerick Football Decider? They completely dominated.
Yeah, they looked really strong, didn't they? Those forwards, they were unstoppable, and their midfield controlled the entire pace of the game.
Definitely a team to watch out for. And then there's Nas adding the Kildare SHC title to their collection. They just
Yeah.
keep on winning. This sets up quite the match with Koala, doesn't it? Nas on a winning streak and Koala with O'Callaghan back in the lineup.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a clash of titans for sure. Both teams have so much momentum right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of O'Callaghan, we've talked about his impact, but what do you think makes him such a standout player?
Well, like we said, he's incredibly skilled, a real athlete, but there's more to it than that, isn't there? He's just got this incredible game sense. He reads the play so well, seems to anticipate everything before it happens.
Yeah, it's like he's always one step ahead.
Yeah.
And his decision-making on the field, it's top-notch. He's not just relying on talent, he's thinking strategically, which makes him such a threat.
Exactly. Makes you wonder how Nas is going to try to contain him.
It's going to be fun to watch, that's for sure. Now, on a more serious note, C.N. McCarthy's retirement really marks the end of an era. What do you think his legacy will be for Dublin hurling?
I think he'll be remembered not just for his skill, but also for his dedication and sportsmanship. Always played with integrity, respected the game.
A true role model for those younger players.
Absolutely. His impact goes way beyond what he accomplished on the field. He represented the best of the sport.
He really did. Now, I know you mentioned some talk about potential rule changes for Gaelic games, which is interesting because Gaelic games have always been open to evolving, right?
Right. The GAA, the Gaelic Athletic Association, they're always looking for ways to improve the sport.
So what kinds of changes are they considering?
Well, there's been some talk about tweaking the scoring system in Gaelic football, maybe awarding different points for different types of scores, to encourage more attacking play.
Oh, interesting. So make the game more dynamic, more exciting for the fans.
Right, exactly. And there are some ideas about how to restart the game after certain fouls to keep things moving, less stoppages, more flow.
Yeah, it's a balance though, right? You want to keep the game fresh and exciting, but you also don't want to mess with those traditions, the things that make Gaelic games so unique.
That's the challenge, isn't it? Any changes they make, they got to be carefully considered. You want to enhance the game without losing what makes it special, that's for sure.
For sure. Now let's go back to Tina Heasley's upset against Porter Darlington. What do you think were some of the key factors in that win? Was it just a case of them playing above their level, or was there something more?
Well, they were definitely fired up, played with a ton of passion, but they also seemed to have a really smart game plan. They found those weaknesses in Port Arlington's defense and exploited them. And their forwards, they didn't miss many chances.
So it was a combination of things, really.
Yeah, talent, strategy, maybe a little luck, too, like you often see with those underdog wins.
Those are the stories we love. Now, with Adair's dominant performance in Limerick, do you think they have what it takes to go all the way? They seem to have all the pieces of a championship-winning team.
They're definitely looking good, no doubt about it. Their attack is powerful and their defense is solid, but it's Gaelic games. Anything can happen. They still have a long road ahead, a lot of tough competition out there.
True enough. And speaking of tough competition, Nass, with their recent Kildare win, they're looking like a real force to be reckoned with. They've got that resilience, that never-give-up attitude.
Yeah, they're not going to back down from anyone. That quarterfinal against Quala, it's going to be a battle. I wonder if they can keep their streak going against a Quala side that's going to be looking for revenge with O'Callaghan back.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Beyond just the excitement of individual matches, there's something else about Gaelic games that I find really captivating, something that sets them apart.
Oh, what do you mean?
I'm curious, what's got you hooked?
It's the community. Like you see it in the local clubs, how generations of families come together all supporting their teams, and then those fans traveling across the country to cheer on their county. It's the shared passion that really ties people together, gives them the sense of belonging. You don't see that everywhere.
You're so right. It's more than just a game. It's part of their identity, their history. Now, we've talked about some of the big names, those veterans who've made their mark. But what about the up-and-comers? Any young players we should keep an eye on?
There's this young hurler, Dara O'Brien from Galway. He's got it all: speed, skill, incredible vision on the field. He's been tearing it up in the underage competitions. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. He could be a real start at the senior level.
Oh, I'll have to watch out for him.
Huh?
Always love seeing that young talent come up. Now, before we wrap up, can we circle back to those rule changes we talked about? I know there are arguments for and against them. It's a topic that gets people fired up.
Yeah, it's a big debate. Those who support the changes, they say it's about keeping the games relevant, appealing to a wider audience. They think some tweaks like changing the scoring system in Gaelic football could make the game more exciting.
So basically making sure it evolves while staying true to its roots.
Exactly. But then there are those who are worried that messing with the rules could, ruin the essence of the game. They don't want to see Gaelic games become just like any other sport.
It's a tough one, isn't it? You want to innovate, but also keep those traditions alive.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Red cards, retirements, those unexpected wins, and of course, those rule changes on the horizon.
It's always something in Gaelic games.
It really is. But before we go, I want to leave everyone with a thought. We've talked about the end of an era with CM McCarthy retiring, and we've got these exciting young players like Dar O'Brien coming up. It makes you wonder, what's next for Gaelic games? How will this new generation shape the future of the sport?
It's a good question. Can it keep its traditional character while embracing new ideas, new approaches? It'll be interesting to see where things go from here.
Absolutely. And for those who are new to Gaelic games, now's a perfect time to jump in. With these new players, potential rule changes, the sport's at a crossroads, who will be the next big star? Will the game change? Lots to watch out for.
And you never know, you might just find yourself caught up in all the excitement. Well, folks, that's it for our deep dive into the world of Gaelic games. We hope you enjoyed it. Keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep that passion for sport alive. Until next time.